Part 1, The Encounter. The battlefield. The air was thick with the acrid smell of burning metal and scorched earth. The sky above was a chaotic canvas of neon streaks, plasma rounds carving through the darkness like angry serpents. Lyra, a young alien scout from the Dominion, stood at the edge of the battlefield, her mandibles twitching in irritation. She had been trained to believe in the absolute superiority of her species, but what she was witnessing now defied everything she had ever been taught. The human. In the midst of the chaos stood a lone human, his figure silhouetted against the fiery backdrop. He was unlike anything Lyra had ever seen. His weapon, a crude kinetic firearm, looked like a relic from a bygone era. Yet, he moved with a confidence that was both infuriating and mesmerizing. Lyra's tactical display confirmed that 4 Dominion warriors had already engaged him, each faster, stronger, and better equipped. But they had all fallen. The impossible shot. Lyra watched in stunned silence as the human raised his rifle and fired a single shot. The bullet twisted through the air like a living thing, threading through debris and explosions before striking a Dominion elite. The warrior crumpled, his energy shield shattered. Lyra's mind raced. This wasn't possible. Humans were supposed to be weak, primitive, and inefficient. Yet, this one had just defied every rule of combat. The confrontation. As the dust settled, Lyra activated her comm link. "Squad leader, report," she demanded. There was no response, only the crackling static of the fallen warrior's disabled suit. The human, meanwhile, casually ejected the spent round from his rifle and muttered something under his breath. Lyra's translator barely caught it. "Damn, I thought I missed." The reinforcements. Before Lyra could process what had happened, Dominion reinforcements arrived. A full squad, bristling with energy weapons and armor, advanced toward the human. He sighed, a lazy smile spreading across his face. "Ah, crap," he said, as if this was just another day at the office. Lyra's mandibles twitched again. This human was either insane or something far more dangerous. The fight. The human moved like a blur, weaving through the Dominion warriors with an ease that defied logic. He disarmed one, tripped another, and knocked out the squad leader with a single, precise strike. Lyra's mind reeled. This wasn't human combat doctrine. This was something else entirely. The aftermath. As the last warrior fell, the human turned to Lyra and grinned. "All right, who's next?" he asked, his voice dripping with amusement. Lyra felt a strange mix of anger and curiosity. This human had just shattered her understanding of the universe, and she wasn't sure if she should kill him or learn from him. The decision. Lyra stepped forward, her mandibles twitching. "Human," she said, her voice cold and measured. "You are not normal," the human chuckled. "Yeah, I get that a lot." Lyra narrowed her eyes. "Explain yourself," she demanded. The human shrugged. "I could, but you wouldn't believe me." Lyra clenched her fists. This was going to be a long day. Part 2, The Challenge. The silence after the storm. The battlefield was eerily quiet now, the echoes of plasma fire and explosions replaced by the soft hum of cooling machinery. Lyra stood amidst the wreckage, her mandibles twitching as she processed what she had just witnessed. The human, Jackson, leaned casually against a chunk of debris, his outdated rifle slung over his shoulder. He looked almost bored, as if taking down a squad of Dominion elites was just another mundane task. Lyra's dilemma. Lyra's mind raced. She had been trained to believe in the Dominion's superiority, to see humans as weak and primitive. Yet, this human had just defied every rule of combat. Her tactical display replayed the events, analyzing every move Jackson had made. It didn't make sense. No human should have been able to do what he did. The challenge. "Human," Lyra said, her voice sharp and commanding. "You got lucky. Prove to me that what just happened wasn't a fluke." Jackson raised an eyebrow, a lazy smile spreading across his face. Oh, you want a show, huh? All right, Cap, what do you have in mind? Lyra's mandibles twitched in irritation. She hated how casually he addressed her, as if she were just another soldier and not a Dominion captain. The test. Lyra gestured to a distant target, a small drone hovering at the edge of the battlefield. Hit that, she said, her voice cold. If you can. Jackson glanced at the drone, then back at Lyra. That's it? No fancy rules, no tricks. Lyra folded her arms. Just hit it, Jackson shrugged. All right, but if I do, you owe me a drink. Lyra's mandibles twitched again. Fine, she snapped. The impossible shot. Jackson took his position, his movements slow and deliberate. He adjusted his rifle, checked the wind with a finger, and exhaled slowly. For a moment, he seemed to become one with the weapon, his body relaxed but focused. Then, with a sharp crack, he fired. The bullet streaked through the air, twisting and turning as if guided by an unseen force. Lyra's tactical display tracked its trajectory, her mind struggling to comprehend what she was seeing. The impact. The drone exploded in a shower of sparks, its remains falling to the ground like a wounded bird. The Dominion soldiers who had been watching in silence now murmured among themselves, their confidence shaken. Lyra stared at the wreckage, her mandibles slightly open in shock. Jackson lowered his rifle and turned to her, that infuriating grin still on his face. Told you I never miss, he said. The aftermath. Lyra's mind was a whirlwind of emotions. Anger, confusion, and something she couldn't quite place, curiosity, perhaps. This human had just done the impossible, and he had done it with ease. She clenched her fists, her mandibles twitching. Explain, she demanded. Jackson chuckled. What's there to explain? I told you, I never miss. Lyra narrowed her eyes. How? How did you do that? The revelation. Jackson's grin faded, replaced by a more serious expression. Look, Cap, I get it. You've been taught that humans are weak, that we're no match for the Dominion. But here's the thing, you don't know us. Not really. We've been surviving, adapting, and fighting for centuries. And sometimes, that means doing things that don't make sense to you. Lyra's mind raced. Was it possible that the Dominion had underestimated humanity? The turning point. Lyra took a step closer to Jackson, her mandibles twitching. You're dangerous, she said, her voice low. Jackson shrugged. Maybe. Or maybe I'm just a guy who knows how to survive. Lyra studied him for a moment, then turned to her squad. We're leaving, she said. Jackson raised an eyebrow. That's it? No dramatic last stand, no I'll get you next time, human speech. Lyra ignored him, her mind already racing with questions she couldn't answer. The departure. As Lyra and her squad retreated, Jackson watched them go, that lazy smile still on his face. See you around, Cap, he called after them. Lyra didn't respond, but she couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't the last she'd see of Jackson. And that thought, more than anything else, unsettled her. Part 3, The Revelation. The Hidden Outpost. Lyra followed Jackson through the dense, alien foliage, her mandibles twitching with unease. The Dominion had always taught her that humans were primitive, their technology outdated and their settlements rudimentary. Yet, as they approached the hidden human outpost, she couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. The structure was sleek and well camouflaged, blending seamlessly with the environment. It was nothing like the crude shelters she had been led to expect. The welcome. As they entered the outpost, Lyra was greeted by a group of humans, their expressions a mix of curiosity and suspicion. Jackson introduced her with a casual wave. This is Lyra. She's, well, let's just say she's got a lot of questions. One of the humans, a tall woman with sharp features, stepped forward. I'm Commander Ilara, she said, her voice firm but not unkind. "Welcome to our outpost." The tour. Commander Ilera led Lyra on a tour of the facility, showing her the advanced technology and strategic planning that went into maintaining the outpost. Lyra's mandibles twitched as she took in the sight of holographic maps, energy-efficient systems, and a fully equipped medical bay. This was not the work of a primitive species. "How?" Lyra asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "How have you managed all this?" "The history." Commander Ilera gestured for Lyra to sit, then began to explain. "We've been fighting for our survival for centuries," she said. "The Dominion may see us as weak, but we've learned to adapt, to innovate. We've had to." Lyra listened intently, her mind racing. Everything she had been taught about humanity was being turned on its head. The turning point. As the hours passed, Lyra found herself asking more and more questions. She learned about humanity's history, their struggles, and their resilience. She learned about the wars they had fought, the alliances they had formed, and the sacrifices they had made. And with each new piece of information, her belief in the Dominion's superiority wavered. The doubt. Lyra's mandibles twitched as she struggled to reconcile what she was learning with what she had been taught. "But the Dominion, they told us you were weak," she said, her voice tinged with confusion. Commander Ilera smiled sadly. "Of course they did. It's easier to conquer a species you believe to be inferior." Lyra's mind raced. Was it possible that the Dominion had lied to her? The revelation. As the sun set, Lyra found herself standing on the edge of the outpost, staring out at the alien landscape. Jackson joined her, his presence both comforting and unsettling. "So," he said, his voice casual, "what do you think?" Lyra's mandibles twitched. I think I've been lied to," she admitted. Jackson nodded. "Welcome to the club." The decision. Lyra turned to Jackson, her mandibles twitching with determination. "I need to know more," she said. "I need to understand." Jackson grinned. "Then you're in the right place." Lyra felt a strange sense of relief. For the first time in her life, she was beginning to question the Dominion's teachings. And that, she realized, was the first step toward the truth. Part 4, The Betrayal. The Return to the Dominion. Lyra stood at the entrance of the Dominion War Council chamber, her mandibles twitching with unease. The journey back had been fraught with tension, her mind a whirlwind of doubt and confusion. The things she had seen at the human outpost, the advanced technology, the resilience, the stories of survival, had shaken her to her core. She had always believed in the Dominion's superiority, but now, she wasn't so sure. The Council. The chamber was vast and imposing, its walls lined with holographic displays of Dominion victories. High Commander Vaylor, the ruthless leader of the Dominion forces, sat at the head of the table, his mandibles twitching with impatience. "Report," he demanded, his voice cold and commanding. Lyra stepped forward, her mandibles twitching as she struggled to find the right words. The report. "The human outpost is more advanced than we anticipated," Lyra began, her voice steady despite the turmoil inside her. "Their technology, their strategies, they are not what we were led to believe." High Commander Vaylor's mandibles twitched in irritation. "Explain," he snapped. Lyra took a deep breath, then recounted everything she had seen and learned. The accusation. As Lyra spoke, the atmosphere in the chamber grew tense. High Commander Vaylor's mandibles twitched with anger, and the other council members exchanged uneasy glances. When Lyra finished, there was a long, uncomfortable silence. Then, High Commander Vaylor stood, his mandibles twitching with fury. "You have been deceived," he said, his voice low and dangerous. "These humans have manipulated you, turned you against your own kind." The betrayal. Lyra's mandibles twitched in shock. "No," she said, her voice firm. "I saw what I saw. The humans are not what we were taught. They are strong, resilient, and, High Commander Valor slammed his fist on the table, cutting her off. Enough, he roared. You are a traitor to the Dominion, and you will be dealt with accordingly. The escape. Before Lyra could react, the guards moved in, their weapons trained on her. She knew she had only one chance. With a swift, calculated move, she activated her personal cloaking device and bolted for the exit. The chamber erupted into chaos as the guards scrambled to stop her, but Lyra was too fast. She darted through the corridors, her mandibles twitching with determination. She had to get out. She had to survive. The aftermath. As Lyra emerged into the open air, she activated her comm link. Jackson, she said, her voice urgent. I need your help. There was a pause, then Jackson's voice came through, calm and steady. Where are you? Lyra gave him her coordinates, then added, they think I'm a traitor. Jackson chuckled, well, Cap, looks like you're one of us now. The Alliance. Lyra's mandibles twitched with a mix of fear and determination. She had always been loyal to the Dominion, but now, she was on the run, branded a traitor. Yet, as she waited for Jackson to arrive, she felt a strange sense of relief. For the first time in her life, she was free to seek the truth, no matter where it led her.